We're back.
We're back.
Okay. We'll wait. We'll give everyone a minute or two to get back into the conversation. Darren, you see, tonight when I go to my bed, I'm going to sleep hard, you know.
Yeah. I can believe that, man. I can believe that.
And I got work in the morning. I'm in school tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm in school tomorrow.
What's your hours like for tomorrow? It's not going to be the whole day, is it?
Nah, well, say it's a whole day. I'll be in for about 7:30, 7:45, just to prepare myself for the children to come in. And then when the children go home around 3 o'clock, I'll leave just after them. So I won't be there as long as I normally am.
And how many kids would you have in?
Do you know what? When we started, it was like low. We had at least about 30 kids, but at the moment, a lot of parents have just found places for their children to go. So we're lucky if we have like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
But we still have to be there regardless.
But they put you on rota or something like that.
Yeah, we're on rota.
Okay, not bad.
We're on rota. I see we've kind of filled back in quite quickly.
Yeah.
So where did we get to? It was about working with the school, wasn't it?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we'll kind of just jump back in, and hopefully everyone can just join the conversation as we're talking. So yeah, as I was saying, it's a big part of what we're learning to do now with lockdown and understanding certain things is let's just work with your providers, whatever it may be. Work with your providers. Don't work against them. Don't fight with them. Don't judge them. Work with your providers, because I think a lot of people have now realized how difficult it is to keep your children entertained all day. It's not a simple task. I also think that in regards to education, people have realized now just how much of a care service school provides in regards to the uplifting of the social development of those children and not just the academia. Yeah. Because for me, I've been told throughout my career that I'm too unorthodox and I care too much and I'm too nice to children and I need to be firmer with children and I need to set the line and make sure they don't cross it and so on and so forth. But Darren, that's never worked though. It's never worked. You might have maybe got them in line for a week or two, but it's never had any lasting impact with a child.
Yes.
So for me, it was all about, doing the work diligently, both academically and socially. So what I want parents to understand is how much we as staff in education and other providers are helping to build your child socially. So when you're sometimes angry and judging what we do and how we do certain things, understand that it isn't only your child who is part of that environment, but we're dealing with other children and we have to deal with them as equally and fairly as possible. But also we have to deal with them as individuals and not just mass groups. So understand the care that we provide for your children in regards to what we're doing every single day. As a DSL, I'm talking to parents, I'm talking to social workers, I'm talking to MST, I'm talking to children's services, I'm talking to I'm going to all these different meetings. And sometimes it's not till certain things happen with their children that parents are like, oh, Mr. Popo, I never realized, that it was this difficult. Or when I'm asking for meetings at the end of the school day, I remember some parents say, but what time do you go home? Why, some parents say to me, well, I can't come to see you today, or I can only come if I come about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I go, don't worry about it, I'll wait. It's like, what time do you go home? How much time do you have with your own children, or do you have a partner, and so on and so forth. And that's why I think, like at certain times of the year, like my birthday or Christmas, I'm going home with all these bags of presents from different parents and whatever else, because they see the work that it's put in. When I did the community work and I was doing the football team, and once again, that's a provision. Make it very clear. You see, all the extracurricular activities, what people do, dance, drama, sports, that's a provision. Whether you see it as one or not, it's a provision, and it's one that's massively misused, like a creche, all in the evenings and weekends, especially within local communities. In Birmingham, I've experienced they use extra provision like it's a creche. Just drop off kids, don't see them, and then you might pick them up later on or leave them with bus fare. Yes. But when I was in the community, I don't even know how much me and my partner in crime, put our hands in our pocket to pay out things for these children to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Whether it be giving them bus fare, not making them pay their subs for the week because they didn't have the money, buying kit, shin pads, socks, football boots, whatever else, and obviously still supported by the club as well, who also offered a lot of free stuff for these children. And you're thinking, we're still getting parents talking about, my child only paid £2 and he only played football, he only played the game for like 16, 17, 18 minutes. And I'm saying to them, there's 18 more children on that team. 18 more children on that team. And we have to provide for everyone. And they don't realise how much work goes into keeping these children happy, keeping them in positive places, doing the work, because everything's a critique. Everything, they've got all the answers. But at the same time, when things aren't running, they're like, oh, when's it going to be starting again? When can we send them back? When can we do this? When can we do that? But a few weeks ago, you were saying that we weren't good enough. And now you're asking when we can send them back. So for me, it's about saying, listen, work with these people. Don't be against them. Don't be against them. Nay, and behave yourself. Don't be against them. Don't fight with them. Don't judge them for what they do, because they're doing something. And if they were doing nothing, I could understand, but doing something. So be a part of it. Be a part of the growth. Be a part of the progression. Be a part of the evolution. But don't just be sitting there and complain on the other end of the phone. But when I need you and I call you and say, oh, can you come see me about this? Can you come see me about that? You're telling me you ain't got time. You're telling me you're too busy. You don't answer my phone calls. You don't reply to my messages. It's just work with us. Work with us all the time. That's my message right now to parents during lockdown. If you've learned nothing else about what we do with your children every single day and how much we work, how hard we work, and we give your children sometimes more energy than we have to give our own when we get home, work with the providers, education, whatever it is, education, childcare, work with the provision. Stop talking about stuff that you don't know about necessarily, or judging what you don't understand. Come inside the building, come and sit down with us in the room, sit down at the table, and let's have some real conversation and work with us to get things done, because we all want to be here for the betterment of your children.
Do you know what? I'm going to add another question, actually, because I'll tell you straight, the WhatsApp group for my son's football team is always popping.
Yeah.
For example, it was my lad's birthday the other day, and they sent the messages out, and I just thought, you know what? I would usually be on a Saturday, Sunday doing football.
Yeah.
I'll have a car full of youths.
Yeah.
And they're my boys, and I let them play their music, and we chat, and we talk about all sorts. And I'm thinking, hold on, I'm doing on-road youth work. Literally, it's on. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? Like I said about that, what's actually going to need to happen is, because the kids may have been almost dormant with their activities and exercises, right? They're going to need more support to go back into these extracurricular activities. And the reality is we're probably going to, we need to step up even more and make a greater effort to support our kids with these activities, whatever it is, because we know that, diversionary activities, they like to call it, innit? Yeah, it doesn't need to be a diversionary activity. It's just an activity. As long as we can keep them active, there's less windows of opportunity for them to be caught up in different things.
Yeah. So,
and you know what? What sort of support would you say we may need to give our children as parents, reintegrating them back to school? Because if we look at it, bro, it's only 6 months off school, 6 months.
Yeah. So, once again, number one, the reintegration process is going to be a process of restoration. See, school was there before, so it's not new to them. It's just reminding them of what it was. So it's a process of restoration. One of the best things you can do for your children right now is don't break a cycle of education. And I know it's easier said than done. I know this. So I'm not judging anyone who's not sitting with their children doing the work or whatever. I get that. I get it. It's easy for me right now and my missus, because my daughter's in secondary school. Her school's been very proactive, and the work has been set every single day. She goes on the computer, she does the work for 3-4 hours a day. She comes off the computer, she does what she wants. And there's a cycle of education that she's still following.
Yeah.
You see, what's hard for anybody, but children especially at times, is when they don't do something for a long time and then you want them to do it again straight away. Now, as adults, we know that's stupid, because I used to love ball back in the day. I used to kick ball and I used to love it. One day I mashed up my knee and it was never the same. I rehabbed it, had a motorbike accident, mashed it up again. And so in my head, when I say a football, I can still do in my head what I thought I could do when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But then you put the ball at my feet and tell me to do it, my body says, big man, that you can't do this no more. This isn't your bag at all. And it's the same thing with children. It's the same thing with children. It's like you expect them to just go back to what they was doing. So a big part of what we're going to do with children now is restoration. It's what it is. It's restoring back what was already there. So what happens is it's just, once again, it's the small things. So wake them up in the morning if you can, parents, if you're listening. Wake up your children, if you can, every single day like it was school time. Wake them up out their bed. Get them up. Get them ready. Get them in. I don't mean put them in their uniform and role play. I just mean get them up out their bed. Get them up out their bed. Make them have their breakfast, shower, brush your teeth, sit down, and get them something to do. Read a book, something. I don't know what it could be. It could be a fun activity, but just get their brains ticking over and sit with them. But get the routine started now. Don't wait till the school says, right, we want the kids back in on such and such a date, and then you've got a week to go, and then all of a sudden try to break your children back into that routine. It doesn't work. Get the routine going for them now. That's all you have to do. Once you've got the routine going, you will do whatever you need to do, get them going. Once you can do different things every single day. Every single day you can do different things. Once you've done all those different things, once again, just make sure you keep doing it over and over and over again. Make sure you have conversations with them about the importance of education. Make sure you're having conversations with them about what you need to be doing in the daytime, why school is important, what do you miss about school, what do you like about school, how do you feel like going back to school? Because a big part of what school's going to do when they get there, once again, is restoration. Mm-hmm. You know, as a head of year, when I get back to school and all the kids are in, I know a big part of my job when I get back is behaviour control. It's got nothing to do with academia, because the academia will work itself out. You know, you keep working, you keep supporting them, you keep giving them work, but it's about getting them back in a mentality where they're ready to work. And that all starts in the home. So as parents, just keep supporting the routine, keep supporting all the right things that they're supposed to be doing. Keep supporting the fact that this isn't, remind them that what's happening right now is not normal. Because what we have to understand is that we're living through a time that as adults we know is not normal. We're in a pandemic. This is history that's been unfolded as we speak, and the children don't see it, but they have to try and make them understand it. And this is where, once again, it comes with the communication and the conversations that you need to be having with these children. So make them know it's not normal, it's not forever. They will be going back to work at some point. So going back to school at some point, and work will need to be done. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think someone just said it, look how bad it can get after summer holidays. It's true. You know how hard it is at times when they come back to school in September and they've been gone for 6-7 weeks. I remember a couple of years ago where the calendar was kind of all shifted, and they were off school for like nearly 8 weeks in the holidays, and they come back to school. I remember the school year, and it was bad because they weren't naughty. They've just been gone for so long. They've been gone for so long. So you have to, once again, with parents, it's have the conversations, get them into a routine, speak to them about COVID-19 is, speak to them about how it's impacting the world and how they're going to have to live in this world once we find some kind of normality. And also speak to them about the fact that the life that they used to have in regards to what's normal might not be the life that's normal afterwards, because this is going to change the world. It's going to change how we move. It's going to change how we operate. It's going to change how, you know, I don't get the bus to school or train or whatever it is, or they walk or ride bike. It's going to change everything about how we operate in today's world. So we have to, once again, as parents from home, just say, listen, guys, the alarm's going off at this time. You're going to be up. You're going to be showered, dressed, teeth brushed. You're going to be doing something. And just add that routine and have some real conversations with your children about what's going on in today's world. Don't make them sit down and watch the news and whatever else. You know, have some real conversations about what's going on in today's world, because that's the best way to prepare them, by being open and honest with them and talking to them and trying to work their way back into a process of, this isn't normal. We will go back to normal life.
Yeah. And this is it. So you know what? Thank you for sharing those points. You know, it's absolutely bang on. You know, so if I was to look before you even go into concluding or anything, right? There were a few questions. So there was questions around what would we do differently if? Oh, well, I'm asking parents actually. I'm asking the participants there. What would we do? Well, I asked the question. What have you done to work on your relationships with your children during lockdown?
Mm-hmm. So I think for me, in regards to working on my relationship with my daughter, it's doing the same stuff. You know, it's just having conversations with my daughter. Little things that, you know, we can do with my daughter. It's simple stuff. We go on walks together. You know, we have there isn't, I haven't done one thing with her that I can say I wouldn't have done normally, apart from we can do stuff like go on the walks, and just have conversations with each other, with me, her, and mom, spending that time together to make sure that, you know, everything's okay. Also, you know, just little things. We found common ground on some of the TV we watch.
Yes.
So we watched a couple programs together that realistically, I can't say I massively care about, but they're entertaining to me. But I know she likes. So yeah, it's just those little things there realistically that I've been doing to make sure that I maintain good relationships with my children. On top of that, I talked to her about little things that, you know, she cares about. With me and her mum got her a phone, like a smartphone for the first time. So it's about teaching her about how to best use her phone, how about different ways to communicate. It's just about building those relationships with your children, and having those basic conversations. There is no best way to do anything. You know your child best, or at least you should do. Yeah, Darren, can you block those people in the comments being silly?
No. Oh, lovely.
You can block them.
It looks like it hide.
Yeah, just block them. Just block them. Don't have to read it. Just block them. Because I don't know who they are, so just block them. Because you've got admin over it, so.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, let's not get distracted. Just block them if you can, and if not, people who are watching, we know it's just silly antics. You know, when you promote certain things that people can go on the internet and do silly things, so just ignore it if we can't block it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, it's small things about our relationship with our children that matter. I've seen quite a lot of really good stuff online. Social media of parents doing little things with their children. Like, I'm not a massive fan of things like TikTok. It really annoys me, to be fair. But when I see parents like just having a good time with their kids, and it's just like harmless fun, and they're just having a good time, it's like, you know, they're the things that our children remember. They're the things that our children genuinely enjoy. You know, I'm not much of a dancer myself, but if my daughter comes down and says, oh, let's put on like Just Dance on a switch, or I'll mess about with her and do certain things. And, you know, we play little games. It could be little board games or card games or just little things. You know, she'll be on the other side of the room, and I'll send her messages on her phone and like just talk to her and just mess about. Use different mediums to keep having good conversations with my children. But all I can say to adults, realistically, in regards to how we can build better skills with our children, build the communication ones first. Forget the rest. Like, the rest will deal with itself. If you can communicate with your children really well on a basic level to a more complex level in regards to things that they're going through, things that they're struggling with, use this time more than anything to just build your communication levels with your children. Build.
And you know what? There's tools around the house to help that. Like you said, there's the Switch, which, you know what, Nintendo, I have to give them props. So when they built the Wii, it was the most interactive thing to ever happen to gaming, really. Yeah. And again, you know, Monopoly. We played Monopoly 3 days in a row a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The matter teething and
listen.
In that bet on in
Monopoly is I don't have the patience for it. So good for you.
Listen, I could have done with a VAR. I could have done with a VAR for that game because I swear people were just teething out the bank.
Yeah,
It was jokes. It was
yeah.
jokes. We was
It
doing that
is.
till what time? Do you know what I mean?
It
You
is,
know?
and that's what it is really. While we're home, parents, I don't have the magical remedy. I can't say to you, "Oh, do this and you'll get this. Say this and you'll get this back." But do whatever you can to build better levels of communication with your children, because, like I said, nobody wants a surprise out on the road. Nobody likes learning anything about their children from somebody else, especially when it's negative. So just try your hardest to build those relationships with your children, because the more and more that they see you care, the more and more that you pay attention to them, the more and more you do the small things with them, is the more they're going to begin to open up to you. You don't have to go to them, they will come to you. It's those small things that matter. I remember growing up, my dad was like the best person in the world, superhero status. My dad has with me, and you know why? Because he was like the coolest person in the world. Like, don't get me wrong, if I done something wrong, he was gonna make me know about it, and the fear was very real. But at the same time, he was always just so funny. Like, you walk around the house and like try and rap and stuff, like he was rubbish at rap, but he thought he was really good. But it was just funny, like these little things, play little games, take me to the park and play football, one-on-ones. It was just the small things that really matter. I'm seeing parents going to the park with their kids. I'm seeing parents crafting things with their children. I'm seeing parents watching things with their program educationally on TV. I'm seeing parents, doing little fashion shows in their house with their children.
Yeah.
Like, it's just little small things that matter to kids more than you'd believe, way more than you'd believe. And it helps to build a lot of communication. And people say communication is key, because it is. Once you have that in place, there's so much you can discover and you can do with your children.
Yeah. Play. Just play.
Yeah. It is all the fun stuff. All the fun stuff.
Do you know what I mean? And that's it there. Do you know what I mean? I remember playing Britain's Got Talent with my kids.
Yeah.
Doing silliness. The rapping stuff, he said, I've done that with the kids. They laugh at me. But you know what? It's cool. Practical jokes. I've done that in my house. Do you know what I mean? Excellent. Just play.
Yeah. And that's it. I think sometimes, once again, we try and overcomplicate things, and we try and look for all these mad ways to get what we want, not realizing that simple things work just as well. So like I said, it's sometimes, like my daughter, for example, she loves like cars and buildings and drawing and building. She always has, from she used to, like Lego or whatever else. So obviously I love cars. So every now and again, me and my daughter will sit down and we'll look at certain cars, or we used to watch this like car building program where you get people who buy cars from like Rust and build.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, we're there, and she absolutely loves it. Loves it. So it's just building up those things with your children, and making them realize that, you know what, a lot can be done. A lot can be done.
Absolutely. So looking at kind of rounding it up, I think we're going to look all right. So in terms of, in conclusion, right, we've kind of looked at how we will how to look at moving forward after the lockdown. Different forms of communication. I think that's been put all the way through the whole conversation, to be fair. But then there was also about around balance and restoring the relationships. So, you know, how do we look at that?
So when I say balance and restoring relationships, I'm mainly talking about the fact of that, you know, when they were young, and it happens to all of us, when they're young and cute, and they pretend and they just do what they're supposed to do all the time. A lot of parents love that period, and then when they get older and their mouth works, we don't like it so much, and we start to negate away from things that we probably used to do. Hence why I say restore, because I said restoration is about rebuilding what was already there. So we start to look at certain things, and when I say, you know, building that relationship back, it's more about understanding, seeking first to understand. I say it all the time. It's from one of my favorite TED talks about understanding, seeking first to understand before being understood. Parents want their children to do as they are told all the time, not understanding that sometimes children aren't necessarily doing things that you don't want them to do to be naughty. They're just trying to find their own way, and work things out for themselves. And their moods are natural in how they move. So when it comes to how we build back and restore some of those relationships, I'm not saying that our relationships are bad as well. I made that very clear. Some of us have got great relationships with our children, but those relationships could still be stronger. And we can still learn more from our children. And what I'm encouraging people to do more than ever right now when it comes to their children is try to get to know your children beyond their basic likes and dislikes. Question them. Allow them to question you.
Yeah.
Share with them honest truths about who you are. Do you know how many children are growing up right now and don't know who their parents are? And I'm going to say it again, they don't know their parents. So yeah, parents don't know their children, but the children don't know their parents. They don't have a clue. It's down to basic things like what football team does dad support? I don't know. You know, like what's your mum's favourite colour? I don't know. Allow your children to understand who you are. Bring them into your world. Put them on, just have open conversation with your children about who you are, and let them learn. Because you know what? Sometimes the biggest compliment someone can give you is to copy you and to be just like you. Do you know what? Sometimes the stuff that our parents, that our children copy probably isn't the stuff that we want them to. And it's because it's the only part of you that they see.
Yeah.
So you've got to bring your children into your world as much as you want to be in theirs. Because I'm telling you something, if you share with them your stories, if you share with them your experience, if you share with them what you've gone through and how you've got to where you are right now, I'm telling you, you will be amazed what they share with you. Amazed what they share with you. And it's about building on those relationships, bring them into your world. Little things, do you know what I mean? Like how many times do parents have conversations with their children about stuff like finance, your credit score, how to do this, how to get a job, how to, from a young age. It's about giving our children these life skills and bonding with our children and doing things with our children that it might not seem necessary at the time, but in years to come, in weeks or months to come, before the years even, it will show itself true, and the fruit will be there for everyone to see. That, you know what, the bond between this child and his parents or her parents is so strong that it just can't be broken, because there's a level of honesty within that relationship. I got to my dad again. Me and my dad are so close to a point where sometimes, me and him are talking out in public, and yeah, people know we're father and son, but it's like talking to my brother because we've genuinely grown together. And he showed me a part of him that I know for a fact most people in the world will never see, but he shared it with me because I was his son. He shared it with my daughter, with my sisters because they're his daughters. He shared it with his grandchildren because they're his grandchildren. Like, he share a part of you with your children and allow for this growing process with your children. You don't have to act with your kids. Don't pretend with your children. Be honest with them. Be honest with them and teach them the way that they ought to go.
And to be honest, if we were looking at that relationship dynamic and that relationship building in the context of, a relationship between man or woman or whatever else, it will be at the same values. Be truthful, share, be vulnerable, give it of yourself, and you'll be amazed what you get back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Honest, I swear, I just, if only, sometimes I get annoyed, I get mad, I can get to a point where I'm so angry I could cry when I see the gaping holes in relationships between young people and their guardians and their people of care. And when I look at it deeper, it's always the same stuff. You don't have real conversations. It's just all like, oh, hi mom, hi dad, yes mom, yes dad. No, it's just all this. It's just surface stuff. But your children don't know you, and you don't know your children. And the only time you want to get to know your children is when something's wrong.
Yes.
You don't want to know them when they're doing all the right things. You don't pay attention to them when they're getting A's and A stars, and when they're winning trophies in whatever sport or activity that they're doing. You want to know your kids when something's wrong, and then you want to quiz them shout at them, be angry with them, force answers out of them, when actually, if you knew your children in the first place, it wouldn't be that hard to try and grasp why they are who they are, what they do, why they do what they do, and how you can move forward with your children together for better outcomes.
Yes.
Better outcomes all around. So get to know your children and be honest with them. Because I'm telling you, the best thing you can do for your child is to be transparent and to be consistent and show love and care all the time.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your flaws, your mistakes,
No,
where you've gone wrong.
Show them everything, Darren. The good and the bad.
Because ultimately, they've seen it. So this, hey, I'm only human. But you know what? The reality is, we can build. Yeah, I messed up on that. Yeah, I messed up on that. But you know what? We can do better moving forward.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely,
and that's the process of restoring.
Yeah. That's it. Restoration, I keep saying it, restoration is rebuilding what was already there. And if you have to build from the ground up, then do so. You know, one of my mantras sometimes with children is simply, I'm going to break you just to build you back up again. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not threatening you. I'm saying I'm going to take you back. I'm going to strip it back to its core so I can work out who you are and why you are who you are. And then we're going to build together. Because this is another thing that we're not doing with our children, which helps restoration. It says we're not climbing the ladder with them. So when they fall down the snake, when they get to the bottom, all we do is say, what are you doing here? You should be up there. Grow with your children. Yes. Grow with them. Be a part of it. Because once again, children pay attention to more than what we think. They listen to what they're way more intuitive than what we think. And you see, if your child does get older, for example, and they win and they're doing really well, they'll remember, but you weren't really there though. And you see, when they lose and they fall on their face, once again, they'll say it, but you were never there though.
Yes.
You didn't really, you were there, but you weren't present. You didn't ask no questions. You ignored me. We didn't have these conversations. You live. It's just so many. There's so many different things. Just be a presence in your children's life, whether you live with them, whether you don't live with them, or you see them on weekends, or whenever you see your children. Be a presence in their life. Be honest and transparent with your children. Show them the good and the bad, and grow with your children.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think that's probably a good point to wrap it up. To be fair, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, Darren. I think my last point then before we go is to say thank you to everyone who watched. Thanks for everyone who listened. I know it's been a very long time, and we should have done it in an hour, but it's taken us an hour and a half. Nearly.
Of course.
But you know what? While we learn together, I don't feel like time is important because we don't really have this time like we normally in regular life to just sit down and have these conversations. So I'm very grateful for everyone that's taking their time out to be a part of this conversation and to listen to it and be a part of it and comment or ask questions. And just remember that we have to care for them even when they don't care for themselves. And we have to be there for them even when they don't want us, because without us, we can't complain. Without us, they're nothing. And tomorrow, they are going to be parents to some other children. And we want them to be productive, happy, healthy, functioning, fruitful parents. So let's get the work done now, because it's generational as we move forward. So thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate it. Hope to do more of these things in the future, whether it be with Darren or otherwise. But let's keep having this open conversation. And guys, be grateful for Darren, because we're only here because of him. We're only here because he sent me a message saying, Matt, let's have a conversation. So follow the Epiphany people. They're amazing. Darren's amazing. His work's amazing. And do the same for us over at We Think. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Take care, brother. And I'm sure I'll be chatting to you in a bit.
Definitely. Love and blessings, big man.
Always. Look after yourself, brother.
See you later.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in and taking in your time. Much appreciated. Yeah. We should have this up online on YouTube real soon. All right. So like, share, subscribe, as they say. Take care.
Yeah. Love.
Bye. Bless.